Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-thru. Sponsored as always by the deli. Hungry? Stop by the deli. Get yourself maybe a smaller sandwich with just yellow mustard. You know, maybe just a turkey and Swiss. Alright, we're into 8-1. We're going to go through some of the early homework problems today to make sure we get off to a great start this semester. So we're going to go through quick. Feel free to slow the video down if that helps you out at all. Alright, so all we're doing here is practicing our proportions. The hardest thing about this is understanding the directions. Find the fourth proportional. Just write them down in order. 1 is to 2, as 3 is to x. Cross multiply and divide. 3 times 2 is 6. Divided by 1 is 6, so x equals 6. Okay? In B, you would have 1/2, I'm just going to leave it like that, is to 3, like 4 is to x. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and then divide. 12 divided by 1/2. What happens when you divide by a number that's less than 1? What happens to the result? It gets bigger. Okay, in this case, if you divide by 1/2, it's just like multiplying by 2. So 12 divided by 1/2 is the same thing as 12 times 2 over 1. Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. The answer is 24. Okay? For part C, don't freak out. Just do it just like the other ones. A is to B, like 5 is to x. Which one of those variables are we solving for? Solving for x, so you multiply and then divide. So x is 5b over a. Okay? So far so good? Alright, what is the ratio to the number of diagonals in a pentagon to the measure of each exterior angle of a regular decagon? Alright, well luckily they chose pentagon here, so if you forgot your formulas, you could just widmapoi, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonals in a pentagon. Does anyone remember the formula for the number of diagonals? I think it's n times n minus 3 over 2. Okay, let's see if that works. Does that work for 5? 5 times 2 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, so we have 5 diagonals. And the measure of one exterior angle of a regular decagon. I won't widmapoi for that. How do I find an exterior angle of a decagon? Anyone remember? Sam? And how many sides in a decagon? Excellent. You too, Grace. You get 36. Alright, so now they want the ratio. So this was 5. This was 36 degrees. Let me make sure I read the question right. The ratio, the number of diagonals to, so we got 5 on top, 36 on bottom. That is not simplifiable, so that's my answer. So far, so good? Okay, given 2 squares, 5 and 7, what's the ratio of their perimeters? 5 to 7. Now, I'm a vet, so I already know that's the answer, but think about it. They're squares, so what are you going to do from their side lengths to get to their perimeters? You're going to multiply by 4. So it's going to be 20 on top and what on the bottom? 28 on the bottom. But then what are you going to divide by to simplify that fraction? 4. So don't multiply them in the first place. So what you learned is that the ratio of the perimeters of any shape, you haven't learned that yet, but you will, is the same as the ratio of 2 corresponding sides. So we'll be learning that later. The book is really good about kind of teaching you guys, making me obsolete and unnecessary, which is a good thing. If you just follow along closely, the book will set you up for the next lesson. Okay? Ratio of the areas, well, this would be 25 to 49. So what the book is trying to teach you ahead of schedule there is that if the ratio of the side lengths of two similar shapes is A to B, then what's the ratio of the areas? A squared to B squared. Got it? All right, good. Number 9, if the ratios of the measures of a pari os sides of a parallelogram is 2 to 3, and the ratio of the measures of the diagonals is 1 to 1, what is the most descriptive name of the parallelogram? Okay, so obviously some typos there. So are they telling you that the sides are the same? The sides are different, but what about the diagonals? They're congruent. So what type of quadrilateral is a parallelogram that has adjacent sides not congruent and diagonals congruent? That is a rectangle. It would look something like this. All right, find the geometric means between the following. Okay? Don't forget your plus or minus. It's a point you're going to lose on your first quiz. Do you understand that's plus or minus 10? Okay? This one just stays as plus or minus radical 15. Truthfully, if you leave it like radical 15, well, I guess that might be insinuating that, but just write your plus or minus. And then, don't be intimidated by the letters. That's as simplified as you can get. Okay? One more. A 60-meter steel pole is cut into two parts. I just feel like I haven't widmapoyed enough here today in the new year. So I just feel like doing that. Alright, so we got a steel pole. Now I feel better. It's cut into two parts. We know that the whole thing is 60 meters. And the parts are in the ratio 11x to 4x. Let's solve for x and then we'll answer the question. So 11x plus 4x equals 60. 15x is 60. X is 4, which makes it 44 and 16. Okay, but I need to answer the question. How much longer is the longer part than the shorter part? 44 minus 16, is that 28? Yep. So the answer is 28 meters. I know it's early and we're just coming back, but can I get a boom? That was a good one.